Alright kids, there will come a time in your life when you will have a favorite rapper, singer, artist, or band, and you will idolize them and know all of their songs. You will buy their albums, memorize their lyrics, and this person may even be a voice for you and your generation. And you will pay attention to what they say. Even watch their interviews when they're speaking about things that have nothing to do with music. And this could include something like politics. And it'll be all fun and games in the beginning. And you will dismiss their claims like, well, he's just a rapper. And geniuses are crazy, right? But then, it will make a turn for the worst. And before you know it,
Is Kanye West serious about his run for the presidency? Yesterday, he announced the formation of a new political party, which he named, get this, the birthday party. Because when we win, it's everybody's birthday, he says.
That rapper was Kanye for me, as you can see, and I've already made a video about him. I say all of this not only as a precautionary tale, but to let you know that fandom shouldn't determine whether or not you call something or somebody out for nonsense. Keep that in mind as we talk about Lil Wayne today. Now, I was never a big fan of his, but I recognize that the statements he makes, or lack thereof, can be problematic for my generation. I was going to let Lil Wayne stuff slide, but, Kanye, man. Weezy is a lot of things, and many people my age or younger think he's the greatest rapper of all time. He is a legend, an icon, and he has a great influence on pop culture. But he is not an activist or a politician, nor does he claim to be. But Wayne has famously said that he's never experienced racism. Whether he knows it or not, this statement is being used by people who deny that systemic and institutional racism is real. He goes right along with other black celebrities who are used as successful black standards for which other black people can strive to be. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps and don't let racism stop you. Because according to these black people, racism isn't real at all. Never mind those same people who use Denzel and Morgan Freeman and Lil Wayne won't be swayed by the fact that Coach K and Jon Stewart and Nike acknowledges racism for what it is. Additionally, although the New York Times just named it the largest movement in American history, it is not a prerequisite for each black person to support Black Lives Matter, let alone know about the organization. And I guess that same thing can be said about the movement and the slogan. However, Black lives and them mattering is clear and necessary. We can separate the slogan from the organization. I can say and believe Black Lives Matter and question what's going on with the business. Just like I can say that I want to eat fresh and be disgusted by Subway. So today, we're going to talk about what matters to Lil Wayne and why statements like his should matter to fans.
I think when we see these situations, I think we also have to understand that we have to get very specific. We have to get so specific, and what I mean by that, we have to stop viewing it with such a broad view. Meaning, we have to stop placing the blame on the whole force and everybody of such a certain race, everybody with a badge. And we have to get into who that person is, and if we want to place the blame on anybody, it should be ourselves for not doing more than what we think we're doing.
Most recently on his tour of convincing us that he matters, Lil Wayne spoke with fellow rapper Fat Joe about George Floyd and the protests that have ensued since his murder. Now later on in this interview with Fat Joe, Wayne would go on to say that if we're protesting, we should learn about what's going on and get the facts. Alright, cool. But before I continue with this video, we need to go back to see where Wayne is coming from. Wayne doesn't want us to generalize all police officers or an entire race as bad, because he was saved by not only a cop, but a white cop.
At the age of 12 years old, I shot myself. I was in the house. Police knocked on the door. I was right there. Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is. I know a good name Uncle Bob, though.
More on Uncle Bob later. See, unless you're Lil Wayne, black people don't get the privilege to be individuals. For instance, less than 2% of black males commit homicide, yet the rest of us have to live with the stigma of black on black crime. Likewise, I don't know, like 2% of protesters are actually rioters or looters, but most of us have to be subject to what the few do. So the actions of protesters, like black people and minorities in general, don't get to be judged individually. Especially when you consider that the majority of people have never even been a part of a protest, whether they want to or don't feel like they have to. As we move on, Wayne gets to be Wayne.
I'm a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matters. especially to my.
His life matters, and he knows his life matters because he's rich, famous, and he entertains people. But I want to take this time to point out that just because Wayne, a black man, is rich and famous does not cancel systemic racism. After all, Frederick Douglass was a successful black man during slavery. He was an ex-enslaved person, but that in no way means slavery wasn't racist. Major Taylor was the world's most popular athlete, an accomplished cyclist during the turn of the 20th century. It doesn't take away from the fact that black people were openly getting lynched during Reconstruction. Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire during legal segregation. We wouldn't say that Jim Crow wasn't racist, so I don't understand how Oprah's success cancels systemic racism. There's a such thing as overcoming in order to become successful. Systemic racism doesn't need a 100% fail rate to be considered alive and well. As I said before, I'm not the biggest Wayne fan in the world, so forgive me. I don't know his whole discography, his whole catalog is beyond me. But one thing I do remember from the Carter 3 was him saying,
"So assassinate me, cause I'm doing the same what Luther King did. Checking in the same hotel, in the same suite, bitch. Same balcony, like assassinate me."
So when he says that he doesn't see racism at his shows, is he suggesting that he brings people together? He is the race eraser? So Wayne has done his part. With that being said, let's go back to the Fat Joe video.
The reason why people always ask me, like, why you don't say this, why you don't do that, is because what else am I gonna do after that?
Well, Wayne could join protests.
Some people put a tweet out and they think they did something.
He could retweet it to co-sign others' efforts.
Some people wear a shirt, they think they did something.
Endorse the creators of the shirt.
What you gonna do after that?
Put his name on a petition.
Did you actually help the person? Did you actually help the family? Did you actually go out there and do something? So if I ain't about to do all that, then I ain't about to do nothing. I pray for you.
Thanks for the prayer. It's needed and necessary. But what are you going to do in order to follow up? You know, I'm reluctant to tell a billionaire to donate, but he boasts about being rich. Plus, he admitted that Jay-Z paid his taxes for him. Jay-Z is worth $1 billion now. Wayne doesn't need to pay that back. He can pay it forward. Wayne could even make a song. Lil Baby did so, and DaBaby included images likened to what happened to George Floyd in his music video. There's so much that can be done. Eminem encouraged people to mosh when it came time to vote. The convenience of one Lil Wayne absolves him from any responsibility and any direct involvement because he has never seen racism, and he brings the racists together at his shows and with his music. Plus, Wayne was saved by a great white cop, which provided him with hope at an impressionable age. Hey, I'm glad Wayne has never experienced racism because it sucks. But Wayne has said that the average person has an experience coming out of the floor onto the stage and seeing all people regardless of race and culture. But does Wayne see his average fan and their experiences? What if they have experiences with racism? And that's why what Wayne says and doesn't say matters. People count on rappers and musicians to speak for them and about them. But with Wayne, it's to the people who don't listen to his music or don't go to his shows, but use his clips as talking points to disprove systemic racism. Lil Wayne knows what's going on. He knows what the demands of the protesters are. He knows what racism is. And he knows that the officer, Uncle Bob, who saved his life, got fired due to police brutality. I hope Wayne isn't feigning in order to preserve the fans and following he has and continue to make dedications for them, because a number of them think he's an N-word anyways. Since racism isn't a reality to Wayne, I'll close with this scene from Do the Right Thing. In this scene, Mookie confronts Pino, whose favorite basketball player, movie star, and rock star is black.
Magic Johnson. Who's your favorite movie star? Eddie Murphy. Who's your favorite rock star? Prince. You're a Prince fan.
Boss, Bruce.
Prince.
Bruce.
Pino, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas.
It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. They're not black. Let me explain myself. They're not really black. They're black, but they're not really black. They're more than black. It's different.
It's different?
Yeah, to me, it's different.
Wayne, just because your fans like you, a black person, doesn't mean they like black people. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I would rather my favorite rapper say something out of pocket than not say anything at all. At least I would know that they're aware of what's going on. So kids, when your favorite rapper comes along, I hope they can let you know that we're gonna be all right. Haircut.